Hey everyone, it's Mojaxx, back in the DJcity UK lab. Here we are once again with another noteworthy update to Serato DJ Pro. As always, our good friends at Serato have let me have a play around ahead of time. There's loads to talk about in this one. Let's get to it. The first big new feature in this version of Serato DJ Pro is the return of streaming music to the software. Regular viewers will know that I was no fan of the now defunct Pulse Locker streaming service, but I've got nothing against the idea of streaming in general, and the way Serato incorporated that into their app was very solid. So now we have the addition of Tidal. Whilst not the biggest or most well-known streaming platform, it is a very comprehensive service, with some heavyweight exclusives, like all the recent catalogue of part owner Jay-Z. It's priced around the same as the competition, with a regular premium subscription costing around $10 a month, but they also offer a hi-fi option at $20 a month, which gives you the option of lossless audio, rather than the usual AAC, which is still decent quality. One big difference over the previous setup with Pulse Locker, there is no offline playback here, so you can't download tracks to play later, it has to stream there and then. If you open Serato DJ Pro with no internet connection, you have no access to your Tidal music at all. This means it's not going to replace anybody's collection entirely, but it can be a great supplement to it. I tested both the regular and hi-fi options out, and it works well. Tracks analyse on the fly, and although the files themselves aren't cached, Serato DJ Pro does retain metadata for the beat grid and any cue points you've set, so after you've played the track once, it doesn't need to be analysed again. You'll need a pretty swift internet connection to use the hi-fi setting, but everything is about as quick to load as you could hope for. You can search for tracks on Tidal right from the regular search box and add them to special Tidal playlists in your library. You can also add tracks to playlists inside the Tidal apps on your phone or computer, and they'll show up next time you open Serato DJ Pro, or in the current beta, if you disable then re-enable streaming. So why am I into this service if I had so many issues with Pulse Locker? The big difference with Tidal is that their service is completely multi-platform. I can easily cancel my Spotify subscription and switch to Tidal instead, using it on my phone, iPad, whatever I want for home listening. There's even a site called Soundees which lets you transfer playlists from other services into Tidal. And crucially, the catalogue is there. When I use Soundees, I'd say about 95% of the tracks I had in my Spotify playlist were found on Tidal. And of course, there are the aforementioned Tidal Exclusives, which Spotify didn't have. I'll come back and review the integration properly when it's fully released, but at this point I'm impressed. As an additional service for working DJs, it's a handy thing to have for those weird requests, and it's great for beginners who have very little music to allow them to get practicing at home, especially as it also works in Serato DJ Lite too. The other big new feature in the software is the Serato Play expansion pack. This takes the work that Serato did with practice mode and steps it up to a whole different level. You now have full control over 4 decks with pitch sliders, 3-band EQ and filters on each one. They've also added a whole alternative set of keyboard shortcuts so you can utilise all those features with your keyboard. A huge difference between the regular practice mode and play is that with play enabled you can use effects and the SP8 sampler too. You're getting the full Serato DJ Pro experience with no hardware attached. On top of all that, they've added an option to use a split headphone cable. You'll need a certain type of cable for that, which sends one channel to one output for the master and the other channel to the other output for your headphones. You can then choose which deck to cue, and the main output is unaffected. I've got the Griffin DJ cable here, it works great with that. Urban Ears used to do one, and there is a Native Instruments one available too. Plus, I'd imagine we'll see a few more hit the market once this is released. With one of those in place, and once you've mastered the keyboard shortcuts, Play is really a fun way of performing a set with zero extra kit beyond your laptop. For house parties, hanging on the beach, or just practicing on the go, Play is a super fun little setup. It does cost a few bucks, but even then, it's still a really affordable way to get into that Serato ecosystem and DJing in general, as, like with streaming, it also works in Serato DJ Lite. That software, combined with a Tidal account and Play, is a perfect way to dip your toes into DJing with the absolute minimum investment. So there you go, lots of exciting new stuff in this version of Serato DJ Pro. As always though, this is a preview. At the time of making this video, it's just going into public beta. That means it's not a full release, it is potentially very buggy, so do not trust it live. By all means download it, play around with it, contribute to the beta process, that's great. But keep a full released version on your system as well for gigs. Don't go out and trust this, because if it crashes on you right now, that's on you, that's not Serato's fault. It is pre-release software, and they put that warning screen when you load up the beta, that's there for a reason. Thank you for watching today. Make sure you're subscribed and hit that bell icon down below to get notified anytime there's a new video from myself or the rest of the DJcity team. I'll see you soon.